Stress is a term that is used widely. So to begin, I want to define the term stress. And according to WebMD.com, stress is the body's reaction to any change that requires an adjustment or response, whether the body reacts physically, mentally, or emotionally. So imagine this: going to school, working a full-time job, being the primary financial organizer, taking care of a 1-year-old, and maintaining a relationship with your husband and the rest of your family. When I think of all that, the word stress comes to mind. And stress, as we all know it, is a part of everyday lives for everyone. Things that can cause our stress are holidays, trouble with in-laws, finances, children, death, pregnancy, marriage, divorce, maybe even vacation, depending on the choices that must be made. So as everyone knows, stress affects our health and our relationships. So today, we will determine how it affects those and how we can better deal with the stress. Good health is something that we all strive for. But when stress is involved, our health is one of the first things that we tend to lose. Three different types of symptoms when it comes to stress and your health: physical symptoms, psychological or mental symptoms, and emotional symptoms. So physical symptoms may be a headache. That may be the first sign someone gets when dealing with a stressful situation. Upset stomach, whether it be heartburn, diarrhea, or constipation. Elevated blood pressure can be caused by stress. Even chest pain, often mistaken for heartburn, can be caused by stress. Psychological or mental symptoms often make people feel, think, or say that they're crazy because they're not really sure what their body is going through. And those symptoms can be anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and isolation. And then we have emotional symptoms, which are frustration, moodiness, forgetfulness, and sometimes poor concentration. Then we have maintaining a healthy relationship. When stress is involved, maintaining a healthy relationship can be difficult. Job-related stress often can affect our relationships at home. As the saying goes, work stays at work is a hard motto to live by because we feel that we need to talk about the situation with our loved ones and our significant other. Financial stress is a stress that everyone goes through at some point or another. Whether in tons of debt or just struggling to make that monthly payment on a bill can cause financial stress. Parental differences can cause stress in a relationship because often in today's society, parents don't talk about how they want to raise children before they have them. So they get upset when their significant other is dealing with their children in a way that they don't feel that they should. And then actual marital problems can cause stress with your other relationships, with your other family members, whether it be your parents, your in-laws. When an individual is having marital problems, they often have trouble with having good relationships with everyone else. Each individual's stress is different, what causes their stress is different, and how they deal with their stress is different. So now that we have defined stress and looked at how it can affect our lives, let's look at some ways to deal with stress. Instead of going into panic mode when an emergency situation occurs, we can try several different techniques to relieve this stress. We can count to 10 before we speak or act. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths before speaking or acting on a situation. Try going for a small walk, a short walk. If possible, we can handle the situation later, at a later date or even a later time, if that would be helpful. We can break the larger problem into smaller problems and handle it piece by piece. And then, as with an emergency situation, there are also ways to manage long-term stress. Ways that we can manage long-term stress: we can exercise on a regular basis, avoid conflict, but do not ignore the problem. Take time to relax, put your feet up, and do nothing, as most of us would like to do often. Eat well, drink plenty of fluids, preferably water, and then always be sure to get the required amount of sleep. All in all, stress is a part of life, but we cannot let it dictate our life. As we have learned, stress does affect every part of our lives. So learning to deal with the stress will help better maintain our health and relationships with others, and everything else should fall into place. No matter what the stress may be, we must remain positive and deal with each situation as calm as possible to better the outcome.